What is up, my friends? It is Wednesday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup, and you are very welcome along. In today's video, we are, of course, going to be discussing Isak, Mark Gay, a little bit about Ibrahim Kanade. We'll talk about a particular player who's come in for a lot of flack in the media, and we'll ask you to guess who it is we're talking about. And to kick us off, we'll have a little discussion around some potential opponents for the Reds in this season's Champions League draw, which takes place tomorrow, and we will be live for here from 5 p.m. Right, my friends, let's get stuck in because there is a bit for us to go through. As always, we appreciate your feedback in the comments. Do drop a like on the video if you enjoy it, and I will see you guys tonight at 8:45. Right, let's start off with that Champions League draw information. So, Liverpool will face two of the following teams on Thursday. Well, they won't face them on Thursday, but when the draw takes place on Thursday, we will be guaranteed two of these teams, one home, one away. Those teams, Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Internazionale, and Borussia Dortmund. Let me know what two from those lists you would like Liverpool to play. Remember, one home and one away. For me, I wouldn't mind a home game against Barcelona and an away game against, let's say, Bayern Munich. Go over and revisit Lucho and say hello. So let me know in the comments from that list of PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern, Inter and Dortmund who you would like to see the Reds face. Which one home, which one away. Right, a little bit from Craig Hope on Newcastle's pursuit of Strand Larsen of Wolves. Wolves have rejected a £55 million offer, but Newcastle are most likely going to return with another one. Wish they just get to the number though, right? You know, because they don't want to be hypocrites. Just pay whatever they're asking. That's apparently what's supposed to happen here. So, I'm going to read you out a list of words now, and I want you guys to have a little think about who you think these might be describing. And I'll tell you who it is at the end of the video. So, cold, boring, lifeless, lukewarm, insipid, timid, clueless, a liability who perturbs the defence, conservative, safety first, outclassed in training, in need of a wake-up call. Who do you think the papers might be talking about there? Well, have a think on it, and as I said, I'll reveal all at the end of the video. Let's move to Craig Hope of the Daily Mail, who said there is a feeling among some close to the club that Isak's situation is beyond repair and a sale is best for all parties. I kind of told you yesterday the narrative was starting to shift from what I was hearing behind the scenes to that acceptance. Now, again, I believe this will happen, but don't take it for gospel. This is just my opinion on it. Yes, with a little bit of information, but I'm not trying to say it has already been decided, but I do believe we will see Isak in a Liverpool shirt, as I mentioned yesterday. Lee Ryder said, Newcastle United have resumed talks with Wolves on Jørgen Strand Larsen. Larsen is not being difficult, but is open to the move and eager to work with Eddie Howe. There's confidence that a deal can be struck. Now, apparently it's somewhere between 60 and 63 million pound that Wolves would do business at there for Strand Larsen. Do I think he's worth that? No, of course I don't. He's probably worth about 40 million quid. They paid 25 from when he came in, I believe. And has he improved that much? Well, it's a seller's market at this point, so maybe Newcastle are just going to have to pay up if indeed they want Strand Larsen. Moving on now to Mark Lawrenson, speaking about Ibrahim Kanade and his poor defending. He said, the French boy, Kanade, is all over the place. He's making all sorts of mistakes. Yeah, I mean, it's not particularly good, Liverpool's defence, but it will get better. And it will get better. But he's not wrong. We do look a mess defensively. And yes, we do have two new fullbacks when we had Frimpong and Kirkes, and that is going to take some getting used to as well. But what we could make sure is solid is the centre of the defence, and that's why I, for one, am very, very hopeful that we go and get Mark Gay. Now, you might have wondered when you clicked on the video with the stream title, what do we mean, same old, same old? It's kind of where we're at. It's just rinse and repeat another day where we're waiting for things to fall into place and that domino effect to start going. But it's the 27th of August. Window shut September 1st at 7 p.m. I'm definitely nervous. I'm not going to lie, I am. But I do still think we'll get the positive outcome we want. Craig Hope said talks are ongoing between Wolves and Newcastle today. Newcastle wants Strand Larsen and he wants the move. So hopefully this will lead to Newcastle bringing in a striker. Visa, I do think they'll get by the end of the window. So if those two come in, there is no more covering up or pretending they're not going to sell Isak. Of course they will at that point. The Daily Mail have dropped a bit of a bombshell. They've put out a piece that said, Premier League footballers are fixing matches. Their headline here. Former police unit chief, staggering claim after casino raid. amid questions over confiscated phone that's key to the investigation. Now, I don't know who this footballer is. I haven't read the piece, but that headline is certainly eye-catching, right? So we will keep an eye on it and let you guys know as and when there's further information on this one. So, DiMarzio has said Liverpool have rejected Roma's offer of a loan with an option to buy for KOSTAS. Roma are prepared to wait and believe Liverpool will sanction a loan at the end of the window. Personal terms have already been agreed with the defender. I'm genuinely baffled that we can't get 10 to 15 million quid for KOSTAS. He is, as I said yesterday, Premier League proven, in his prime years now, established international, won the Premier League with Liverpool, played in the Champions League. Genuinely a bit surprised that we haven't been able to find a taker from at the 10 to 15 million quid valuation. Craig Houlden again said, I understand the stance from Wolves and remains the same as it has in recent days. They don't want to sell Larsson. Even if an offer of 60 million quid comes in, it would be rejected as things stand. Now again, bit of flip-flopping there from Craig Houlden and his Daily Mail counterparts. 1 minute, they're hopeful it gets done. Now they're not sure. Again, you can see why we're all a bit confused here. The Daily Mail said, if Isak is to leave Newcastle and they were to sign at least one, if not two strikers before Monday's deadline, that it could well happen. So again, let's keep our fingers crossed that our contemporaries, let's use that word, can get signings over the line, which would of course lead to Liverpool getting Alexander Isak. It is said there's a feeling at the club that Isak's situation is beyond repair and a sale is best for all parties. The 25-year-old has essentially been on strike this summer as he looks to force a move to Liverpool. Liverpool remained in active talks to sign Mark Gay immediately, said Fabrizio Romano. Liverpool are ready to pay over £30 million now to get the deal done, but it depends on Crystal Palace. If Palace find replacements and let him go, Gay has already said yes to the Reds. So again, we're waiting around. It's mad this, by the way, that so many clubs still need to do so much business this late in the window. It's really astonishing when you think the window's been open for 3 months. So, to bring the video back around full circle, I ask you, who was described as cold, boring, lifeless, lukewarm, insipid, timid, clueless, a liability who perturbs the defence, conservative, safety first, outclassed in training, needs a wake-up call? I am, of course, speaking about Marca describing Trent Alexander-Arnold and his performance, body language and work so far in a Real Madrid shirt. They're already calling for Carvajal to start every game, and it looks like Trent is now being benched. There's also been a report from Caught Offside today that linked Trent with a move to Manchester City. I'm not joking, you can search for yourself. But that is where we are currently at, ladies and gentlemen. As you were from yesterday, we still wait some more news, and as the day goes on, we hope things start to fall into place. I'll be back here tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. If you want any of this news delivered directly to your phone, make sure you are signed up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. And today's podcast episode is now live, both on the YouTube channel and on Spotify. Myself, Chris and Steve talking about the game, the transfer window, refereeing and lots more. Hope you enjoy it. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments and we'll catch up later. Much love.